They thought they were setting a trap for a helpless high school student. They didn't realize they were locking themselves in a room with a monster. Inside the house, the air smelled of burning fear. The loan shark held a steaming iron inches from the father's face, sneering, "If you can't pay with money, you'll pay with your organs." The mother trembled, clutching her phone. She had sent one desperate text to her son. "Don't come home. Run." The shark snatched the phone and read the message. A twisted grin spread across his face. "You told him to run? Perfect. Instead of torturing you two, I'll wait for your son to walk through that door, and I'll break him right in front of your eyes." The parents were gagged, helpless, tears streaming down their faces as footsteps approached. The door opened. Inside is pure hell. Thugs hide against the walls like predators. His mother tries desperately to scream but gets muffled again. Seon acts as if nothing's wrong, takes off his shoes, sets down his bag, calls out that he's home. The moment he steps inside, a thug lunges out swinging a baseball bat. The blow crashes into the back of Seon's neck with bone-crushing force. His mother can only watch in horror. But unexpectedly, something's wrong. The bat connects, but Seon doesn't fall. His body stands rigid as a statue. Before the thug can process what's happening, Seon spins around and delivers a vicious punch that sends the man's body flying past the gang leader. His face becomes a mangled, smoking wreck. The leader trembles to his core, teeth gritted in fear as he watches a strange aura radiating from Seon's body. Blood streams down the boy's head, but he stands unshaken. The leader screams for his men to kill the bastard. They charge in unison, shouting for blood. Seon expertly dodges 2 attacks, ducks low, then drives his fist into a thug's ribcage. The bones shatter from a single punch. The thug can't even hold his weapon anymore. Seon pulls back and strikes the same spot again. This time, the ribs completely disintegrate. The thug's eyes bulge, veins popping as he screams in pure agony. Another attacker's foot comes crashing towards Seon's head. In a flash, Seon catches the leg midair and kicks out the supporting leg. The thug falls back, leg broken. Another charges from behind swinging a chair. It slams against Seon's head. He grits his teeth, but the blow barely phases him. He looks up with vengeful eyes that terrify the attacker. In an instant, the thug goes flying, back slamming into the wall beside the leader. The leader can't believe his eyes watching his men get brutally massacred one by one. He stammers in disbelief, then clutches a knife and grabs the father's head, threatening menacingly. "Let's see if this old man can still move after I'm done with him." But unexpectedly, he has no idea how foolish that threat is. Seon grabs the hot iron and lunges. With a single strike, the flat side of the iron slams the leader's head straight through the wooden door. His parents stare wide-eyed in astonishment. Seon pulls the iron back. The leader's head is now stuck in the door, face bloody, half his teeth gone. He can only groan for help, pleading in agony. But inside the house, all his men have been taken out. Seon pants heavily, head covered in blood. He kneels and begins untying his parents, breathing hard as he grumbles that if they didn't want him to fight, they shouldn't have been so poor. Then he collapses onto the floor. He was taken to the hospital along with the loan sharks. They were all screaming from the intense pain. The hospital went into a state of emergency. The thugs kept begging the doctors to save them. Amidst the chaos, a man appeared at the reception desk. He turned and asked the staff what was going on. She replied that a debtor beat up 10 loan sharks. She adjusted her glasses and continued, "And a high school student did it all by himself." Hearing this crucial information, the man's pupils constricted. The gang leader, despite his severe condition, managed to tell his subordinate to find that kid and kill him immediately. The subordinate replied that the kid was in this hospital too, and that someone called Black Bear just went in. He's probably dead by now. The other man overheard this and jolted. "Black Bear?" He quickly asked the receptionist which room that student was in. She checked her computer and replied, "Room 202. In the emergency room, the sound of urgent footsteps echoed. The man was sprinting towards Seon's room. As he ran, he thought to himself that Black Bear was one of the candidates for their main fighter. He had to see if this kid was a worthy contender, although he felt sorry for the little guy who got caught in this. He looked at the nameplate, Kang Seon. Then he peeked through the small window in the door. This poor kid. The scene before him was Seon facing off against a man 3 times his size. This giant was Black Bear. He had just been admitted and was already looking for a fight. The giant growled, "They called me all the way here for some trash high school kid. Don't hate me too much. I've got debts to collect." His eyes glowed with a frightening red. He added with a grin, showing a set of sharp teeth, "But you're pretty interesting. You see me and you're not scared." Seon was just as defiant. He ripped the IV needle right out of his vein. Black Bear raised his hand high and swiped down. "Then let me teach you a lesson. I'll teach you what fear is." At the same time, Seon rushed forward, aiming a punch at his face. Their speed was incredible, shocking the man watching from outside. So fast. But in the end, Black Bear's hand slammed into Seon's head first. His head was smashed hard into the floor, and his whole body collapsed. Blood spurted from his mouth, his eyes wide as if his soul had left his body. The man outside adjusted his glasses, watching intently. Just as I thought, Black Bear looked at his hand, which was radiating a dark energy. "Kid, no matter how crazy you are, Mindlessly rushing at me like that just makes me want to punch you harder. But instead of surrendering, Seon slowly got up to his feet. This surprised the giant. You can still get up? Seon wiped the blood from his lips. You talk too much. The giant looked like he'd been slapped with cold water. He grunted and decided to end it, launching his entire body forward. This is more like it. The man outside grew worried. Is he really going to kill that kid? I have to stop him. But before he could interfere, Seon had already dodged the giant's punch. He dropped low and kicked upwards with all his might, connecting with the giant's face. The giant instantly lost his balance and staggered backward. The man outside the door gasped, his pupils shrinking in utter shock. The giant's face seemed to deform. His temple was caved in on one side, blood flying everywhere. The scouts stared in disbelief. I've never heard of Black Bear being taken down before, but Black Bear wasn't so easily defeated. He instantly put a hand down to balance himself. The scout adjusted his glasses again, watching for the outcome. That's right. How could Black Bear lose? He's known as the king of muscle all over the country. Black Bear laughed. You think I'd lose to a high school kid? He thought he could be smug forever. But in less than a second, Seon launched another attack at his face. The hospital floor cracked from the impact of the giant's hard head. The scout felt his head spin. This is impossible. Seon rained down punches directly on the giant's face. The giant's face turned red from the punishment. Instead of taking it, Black Bear wrapped his arms around Seon's waist, locking him in place. He laughed ferociously. I have to use my ultimate move on a high school kid. The man outside muttered to himself. Isn't that Black Bear's signature move? The Bone Crusher. I have to stop him now. The giant began to squeeze, trying to break Seon's bones. The scout burst through the door, shouting to stop, but neither of them listened, locked in their struggle. Seon started to straighten his body. A wave of energy erupted from them. The scout stood there stunned as the room filled with smoke. But the fight wasn't over. Black Bear looked at him in shock. What? My body's going numb. I used all my strength. Slowly, Seon grabbed the giant's shoulders and lifted his head to Black Bear's amazement. The giant stammered, You can still move? Your bones are fine? Black Bear used every ounce of his strength, flexing and tightening his grip. This time, I'll crush you into 100 pieces. But Seon just pushed himself up higher, his bones completely unharmed. This made Black Bear scream. Why won't they break? In response, Seon slammed his head into the giant's face. Just one headbutt drew a horrifying amount of blood. Black Bear's face was being destroyed, his mind reeling. Is his head made of metal or something? Seon headbutted him again. The giant's face was now deformed as if something hard had been hammered into it. Seon didn't let up, delivering more and more blows with his iron-like head. He continued until the scout shouted, Stop! He's unconscious! The man bent down, patting Seon's back. Calm down, it's over. He then looked at Black Bear's body and said, If you keep hitting him, the cleanup will be a real mess. With that, the scout called the medical team. Room 202, Building B. Head trauma from a traffic accident. We need assistance, Seon panted, looking up. Who are you? Are you with them? Well, not exactly. I was thinking of forming a team with you. Seon was completely confused. What the hell are you talking about? When the medical team entered, they stood before Black Bear's body and fell silent. They turned to the scout for confirmation, then received orders to begin cleanup. Seon watched the scene, bewildered. He turned. What the hell are you guys doing? The scout handed Seon a red card. This is from someone who can give you anything you want. Seon took it, looking at it with some surprise. The scout continued. All you have to do is fight for that person. But in response, Seon just shoved it away. Get lost. After crumpling the card, Seon decisively threw it in the trash. I'm not interested in fighting for money. He walked towards the door, muttering about what kind of scam this was. The scout could only watch him go and click his tongue. You might change your mind. It seemed he knew Seon would need the organization soon enough. His expression darkened. Seon was in the men's restroom. He splashed water on his face to clear his head. He looked in the mirror with resentment. My life is a mess, but at least I should have honored my mom's wish to never fight. Suddenly, the door opened. Son, what are you doing in here? It was his father. Seon turned in surprise. His father asked where he thought he was going in this state. Seon turned back, his anger flaring up. This state? Who do you think is responsible for this state? You were a boxing champion, weren't you? You were even invited to the national team. So why didn't you do anything? You just ended up bringing a mountain of debt home. Why was your pride as a champion too big to work for a small-time gym? I don't know why you got kicked off the national team, but was your useless pride more important than my sick mother? He was met with only silence. Finally, his father left, saying not to even think about going anywhere. Stay in the hospital. This just made Seon more resentful. He cursed under his breath. This is disgusting. Suddenly, a headache hit him, making him dizzy. Seon collapsed sitting by the sink, holding his head. My head? Is it because I haven't slept enough lately? He muttered. No, it's probably because my head hurts every time I see my father. I hate him. Just one critical week of injuries cost them their entire savings. He had to bow his head to the parents of his bullies. His father was no help at all. That's why I don't want to trust anything he does. but it seems my life is falling into an abyss. As a high school student, I can't even rent a fishing boat. How can I change my life? I can't even afford my daily expenses. A classmate had once approached him, asking if he wanted to be one of their lackeys. But Seon was too busy with part-time jobs to accept. I'm busy. Get lost. They didn't let him off easy. They had their friend smash his delivery bike. He always remembered those moments. Thanks to those bullies, his and his father's debt grew even larger. And he couldn't just leave home and abandon his mother. My life is truly at rock bottom. Seon suddenly bolted upright in his hospital bed. He clutched his head in pain. I passed out again. What the hell? Why did they move me to a different room? He pulled out his phone to check how long he was out. He was surprised to see a message from his dad. His father had messaged that it was time he told him everything. He gritted his teeth. What else is he hiding from me? Then he clicked on his chat with his mother. What about mom? He called her, asked if she was okay, but she urgently responded that he shouldn't come home. There were a bunch of thugs hiding there. This made him feel uneasy. She told him to stay put. She had moved him to a different room under a different name. He would be safe there. He stood up from his bed and asked where she was. She told him she was hiding in a motel near a police station and that he didn't have to worry about her. She then added, Son, please don't leave the hospital, honey. I'm hanging up. She left Seon in a state of deep thought. He gritted his teeth. Damn it all. It's all my fault. If only I hadn't provoked those guys. He rushed out with his phone in hand. First, I have to find mom. Suddenly, he got another call from his father, which surprised him. Dad? He answered the phone. Hello? A different man's voice was on the other end. Are you Mr. Kang's son? He replied yes, but asked who this was. The person on the other end immediately reported the situation. It's very bad. Mr. Kang fell and is unconscious. This made him extremely worried. On the other end, his father had fallen from a height while working on a construction site. He seemed to have broken his limbs. The risk of death from blood loss was very high. In the intensive care unit, he stood by his father's bedside. His father was covered in bandages, his life depending on a ventilator. The doctor had told him the surgery would be difficult. The surgical fees alone would be 100 million won. After the surgery, there would be years of expensive treatment and recovery fees. Just thinking about it made tears well up in Seon's eyes. He sat down by the bed and cried, holding his head in despair. In the silence, he wondered what he should do. But then Seon remembered something. It was the card that the scout had given him. If he remembered correctly, he had thrown it in the trash. Seon immediately ran off. I have to go back to that room. Back at the hospital in the late afternoon, he returned to room 202. He rushed to the spot, panting from exhaustion. Seon slowly walked over and pulled out the trash can. But the heartbreaking truth was the card was gone. He had completely lost all hope. He could only bow his head and tremble. Damn it all. Damn it all. It's all my fault. If only I hadn't provoked those guys. Seon's face was streaked with tears. I'm sorry. I can't do anything. Then he cursed himself. Maybe it would be better if I just died. As if heaven itself was watching over Seon, the scout appeared at the door holding up the red card. Are you looking for this? He turned around startled. The man looked a bit smug. Change your mind? Seon asked how much he could pay him. The man immediately made an offer. At least 10 billion won if you win. This left him astonished. The man added, even if you don't win, but you become famous, you can still make a lot of money. So, do you agree to this offer? This left him thinking for a long time. Seon was invited in for a private meeting. The man handed him a contract. Read this. If you agree, sign it. Seon looked at it surprised. Battle arena? The man replied. It's an underground tournament where monstrously strong fighters use stimulants provided by the hospital to compete. Seon with sharp eyes said, Stimulants? I don't know anything about that. The man immediately presented a box filled with vials of different liquids. This surprised him. The man held up a vial. These aren't ordinary stimulants. Depending on the type, it can make an old man on the verge of death suddenly powerful. Of course, you're not required to use stimulants. Seon now understood something. Wait a minute, who are you really? The man replied, sorry for not introducing myself sooner. I'm Kim In-suk, a scout for a VIP who participates in the tournament. Seon was shocked. A scout? Kim said, what's important now isn't who I am, but the stimulants. No fighter has ever won without using them. I insist, I won't use them. The man said he'd be briefed more on the stimulants when he entered the competition area. In his heart, Seon cursed. This guy isn't listening to me at all. Kim continued, if you get through the tournament and make it to the top 20, you'll get a sponsor. At that point, you can choose a VIP to be your sponsor and run with us to the championship. It's that simple. Seon relented. Alright, I get it. Now give me the money. That's all I need. Kim set a condition. There's one problem. You only get paid during the tournament. This made him shout and slam the table, standing up abruptly. Are you kidding me? Then why should I work with you? He calmed him down by using his weakness against him. Whoa, calm down. You need money for surgery and to keep your parents safe, right? Seon froze. You? Who are you? How do you know that? He replied. As long as you work for my boss, I'll take care of your parents' safety, their surgery and treatment costs, and even dealing with the debt collectors. Hearing these benefits, he couldn't believe it. How can I believe that? His phone rang again. Seon picked it up and saw it was his mom. He put the phone to his ear. "Hello, what's up, Mom?" His mother on the other side said that she heard he paid for his father's hospital bills and sent bodyguards there too. This stunned him for a moment. Kim said, "I've prepared a safe house, so you don't have to worry about her. Honestly, I have no other choice but you, Kang Seon." He replied to his mother that he sent those people, and to just do what they say. He'd be there soon. His face was still expressionless, frozen in shock. His mother found it strange and called his name. He said nothing more. "I'll call you later." He hung up and stared at the floor. After a moment of internal struggle, Seon looked up and asked, "What do I have to do to get 10 billion won?" The man replied, 10 billion is just a baseline number. This surprised him. Kim added, "Depending on the number of people who bet on you, this number can increase. The winner could even get 15 billion won. Seon kept muttering, "This is insane." The man replied, "It's not impossible. Compared to the price the fighters pay, it's actually quite small." Another truth made him freeze. Kim spoke up. "Many have become disabled or even lost their lives. In fact, only 10% of the fighters from previous tournaments were able to leave without any injuries. How can so many people die and no one knows?" He replied, "Precisely because so many have died, it must be kept a secret." He pointed to the signature line on the contract. "Once you sign this document, the first thing we do is create an alibi." He stared with wide eyes. "An alibi?" Kim immediately replied, "The hospital is the tournament safe house because it's the best place to create an alibi. You can participate by having a camera record you, or by buying something under your name to create an alibi. There's no death we can't fake. Missing, illness, or side effects from drugs, it's all covered." He gritted his teeth and threatened, "What if I report this to the police?" "Why are you telling me this?" The man leisurely said. "How hard is it to get you addicted to a drug? You think anyone will believe an addict talking nonsense about a non-existent tournament?" He then smiled kindly and promised, "Don't worry, you'll be dead before you can do that." Kim returned to a serious tone. "That's the beauty of the hospital system, isn't it?" He finally asked. "I'll repeat myself one more time. This is entirely your choice, Kang Seon. Will you sign?" This was a difficult choice for Seon. Kim said, "Most people take a few days to think about it." Suddenly, he put his hand on the contract and quickly signed. Seon's face was incredibly grim. "You said you'd keep your word." Kim, having achieved his goal, smirked slightly. A female nurse appeared behind Seon. The strange atmosphere made him exclaim in confusion. Just as expected, she injected him with a dose of anesthetic. Seon pushed her hand away. "What is this?" But it was too late. His eyes started to see illusions, his head dizzy from the drug. Through his blurred vision, he could hear Kim's voice. "Don't worry, it's just an anesthetic to take you to the competition area." His eyes slowly closed. As he drifted off, the man's voice echoed in his head. "Seon, remember this. Your parents will only be cared for as long as you participate in the tournament. You must ensure victory and resolve all problems." After a deep sleep, he slowly, groggily woke up. He wondered if he was dead. His tired eyes slowly fluttered open. The first person he saw was someone from the medical team. Seon wondered where they were taking him. Looking ahead, he could see the person was slowly wheeling him away from the emergency exit, deeper and deeper into a dark place. He looked up and asked where this was. The person just replied to be quiet and keep moving. He'd soon find out where this was. He then glared down at him and said one more thing. "Welcome to hell." Meanwhile, on the other side at Hosen Group Company, Vice Chief Yan Woo was in his office. Kim arrived and briefed Yan Woo about Seon. Yan Woo skeptically asked, "Are you serious? Using a high school student as a representative fighter? Even if he defeated Black Bear, it's still ridiculous." Kim, adjusting his glasses, calmly replied, "Of course, Vice President Hong Min might love it, but that's the point. The more ridiculous it seems, the better." Kim explained, "If we want to trap Vice President Hong Min, who's obsessed with the fighting ward in this bet, we need him to underestimate us." Yanwoo was a little intrigued. "Are you saying just this one boy can defeat our opponent?" Kim replied, "We checked his body. After surviving Black Bear's bone-crushing technique, his condition was nothing short of a miracle." On the other side, in the fighting ward, Seon's eyes opened. Blurry visuals, a mind full of confusion. He couldn't understand what this place was, or who the person about to step on him was. The next moment, a guard's voice rang out, "Step back or we'll shoot." At the warning, the guy stepped back. Seon was still on the ground, and drones hovered around him. A drone came close and announced that the participant's consciousness was confirmed. Seon was now astonished. "What uniform am I in? This is a school uniform, but I didn't put it on." Just then, an announcement echoed. "The first round match will now begin. Welcome to the doping test round." This round would determine which 200 fighters would step into the main battle arena. Everyone's fate rested on an injection. For some, a boon of power. For others, an invitation to death. Let the selection begin. Each participant will be given a random doping injection, each designed to enhance a specific physical trait. And on the other side, the VIPs watching the tournament broadcast were told they could now place their bets. Each fighter had their own doping set. The same boy standing in front of Seon excitedly picked up a doping gun and injected himself. Seon thought to himself, I've already broken the promise I made to my parents that I'd never fight and that I'd graduate from school, but I can't break my last promise. No drugs. But then he was faced with reality. The boy standing in front of him after the doping injection coughed up blood, trembled, and then his body suddenly began to change. Seon's eyes widened. What the hell? The boy suddenly leaped with agility and stormed towards Seon's face. Seon reflexively ducked just in time, and the boy crashed into the wall. Seon was thinking, just a second ago, he was so skinny. Where did these muscles come from? The drone announced, Fighter has successfully enhanced strength attribute. The guy was laughing with excitement, thinking he hit the jackpot with power doping. He ecstatically yelled about going outside and smashing everyone who thought he was a pathetic loser. Then he moved from his spot and in a flash was right in front of Seon. He sneered about how he should kill this little worm to make it fun. But before he could do anything, Seon punched him in the face before he could even react, sending him stumbling back. The guy got furious from that small punch. He felt like Seon was insulting him just like his friends used to. But Seon didn't care about his words. He was just observing the guy. The punch was merely a test of his reactions. He thought, looks like his reaction speed hasn't been enhanced. If I slowly close the distance and create an opening, I might get a chance. But before he could, the guy charged at him at full speed and rammed his head into Seon. At that moment, Seon understood he couldn't face this monster head on. He thought maybe he could do something by targeting his face. He tried to balance himself midair, but then the guy punched him hard, drawing blood from Seon. Seon didn't even get a chance to recover when the guy grabbed his legs and with excited fury slammed him hard onto the ground. The guy laughed excitedly. Crushing you feels amazing. Let's see how far a human can be crushed. He jumped up and screamed midair. Now everyone who looked down on me, because now I am king. He landed directly on Seon's chest. With a creepy smile, he said, the best part about crushing is the breaking of ribs. Meanwhile, a few hours earlier in Yanwoo's office, Kim had explained that when Seon survived Black Bear's bone-crushing attack, they had examined his body. What they found was unbelievable. Seon's bone density was 10 times higher than a normal human's, meaning his bones weren't like human bones. That's why normal attacks had no effect on him. Back to the fight. As the guy was stepping on Seon grabbed his leg and skillfully freed himself from his grip. The guy tried to grab his leg, but Seon immediately changed his leg position and moved away. The guy was surprised that Seon was enduring so much even without doping, but he didn't believe it. He thought maybe his body hadn't fully absorbed the doping effects yet. Seon thought this monster had slowed down a bit and his stamina didn't seem to be enhanced. He figured that as long as the guy couldn't grab him, he could target his face, but he needed to focus on speed instead of power. Seon moved towards him. The guy was happy he was coming his way and raised his hand for a fatal strike. But Seon dodged that strike and landed a sharp left jab to his face. The guy immediately countered with his left hand, but Seon dodged again and delivered another right sharp jab. The guy lost his balance for a moment. Seon gave him no chance to breathe and kept landing multiple jabs until he looked like he was about to pass out. Seon saw this golden opportunity and decided it was time to win the fight with a heavy blow. But just as Seon tried to land that final blow, the guy grabbed his hands and with a strange smile said, "Finally got you. You were so excited, you didn't even realize I let you hit me on purpose." But Seon calmly said, "And do you think I just let you grab me like that?" Then he asked, "Do you know why kangaroos grab their opponent's arms before a powerful strike?" And Seon executed an insane acrobatic move, attacking the guy's face with his leg, sending him straight to the ground. Now the guy couldn't understand what happened. His body couldn't even move. He angrily yelled about why his body was behaving like this, and losing to an undoped person. He looked up at the doping gun and decided he needed another dose. Maybe the first dose wasn't enough. But Seon saw him doing that, and immediately decided he had to stop him, because that dose was actually meant for Seon. But before Seon could reach the guy, he injected himself. The drone immediately announced, "Stamina doping successfully applied," and at that moment, the guy speared Seon in midair, making him cough blood. But it didn't stop there. The guy angrily grabbed Seon in midair and slammed him hard onto the ground. The drone came to check if Seon was alive, but the guy shoved it away, because for him, the fight wasn't over yet. He grabbed Seon's throat and growled, "There's one thing I've always wanted to do. This is the real feeling." For pests like these, you have to stop their breathing to truly enjoy it. But just as Seon was about to give up, the guy suddenly fell to the ground and died. The drone announced, "Game over, due to player death." Yanwoo, who was watching all this, was completely confused about how this happened. Kim informed them that the guy died due to an overdose of doping. Kim said taking 2 different dopings at once has a survival rate of less than 0.5%, and he had already taken power doping followed by stamina doping. This was bound to happen. Yanwoo said, "Well, I have to admit, you're lucky. The opponent died on his own." Kim said, "Perhaps, but it wouldn't be right to call it just luck. Seon's body is unusually strange." Yanwoo replied, "There's nothing strange. It's just that this guy doesn't break easily. You know, there are even bigger monsters here." Kim calmly stated, "Seon is different. With doping, we can enhance muscles, organs, hormones, everything. But there's one thing that isn't enhanced: bones. And Seon's bones hold some secret. That's why he's special. He asked Kim what the next step was. Kim adjusted his glasses and replied, Seon has passed the doping test round. Now he'll receive urgent treatment. And after that, he'll meet the monsters who have survived so far, who have developed different powers. A little later in the fighting ward's treatment room, Seon sat with a worried expression. He muttered that the guy died because of him. But then he decided to snap out of that weak thought. I was about to die myself and I only wanted to knock him out. I have to do everything. Only I can save my mom and dad. Meanwhile, a drone approached him and announced all players who passed the round should move to the dead lobby. An attendant told Seon that a guide would now explain everything. As long as he followed the guide, he would be fine. But he shouldn't make any stupid moves. All guides were armed with lethal weapons. The drone assigned as Seon's guide led him towards the lobby. As he walked, Seon thought about what this place was. It looked like an underground cave or a secret facility. These people had completely eliminated any escape option. He wished he could talk to his mom just once. He decided he had to stay alive. At least they promised that as long as he was participating, his mom and dad would be safe. But he also thought the fights here were totally different from the outside world. Outside, people thought he was a monster. But here, even street punks were on another level. The guide said, "Player lobby has arrived." The door opened and Seon went in. The announcement came. All players have entered the lobby. Game will now start with 124 participants. Please gather in front of the monitor for briefing. Seon thought to himself about what kind of monsters these were. They looked even more dangerous than the first round guys. He decided to keep a low profile until the official match started. But then a guy came up to him and said, "Oi, high school kid, how did you get here? Want to play a little with me?" Seon thought this uniform was making him an easy target. He hoped the briefing would start soon. Two more guys, one clown-like and one crab-like, were laughing. The clown said he heard that high school kid qualified because his opponent died from an overdose. The crab guy said so. He hasn't even taken any doping yet. The clown said bringing him in a school uniform means the rich people just want to see some pathetic show. The crab guy suggested having some fun with him. But then the clown panicked and said to keep his head down and move. Someone else had already set their eyes on him. Just then, someone called Seon from behind. When someone asks if you want to play, you should answer. He placed a hand on Seon's head and said, "If you don't answer, I'll kill you." Seon thought, if I want to survive among these madmen, I have to become crazier than them. Seon immediately turned to attack the guy when he got a big surprise. Someone stepped in between and stopped the big guy. The person told the big guy that was enough. The big guy was irritated. He held the person's hand tightly, but the person didn't react at all. He just said to leave this small student alone. He's just a student. Then he forcefully pulled his hand free. The big guy scoffed. Someone with only one arm doped will stop me? And for this weak kid? Seon was angry inside, but he decided it was better to ignore it because getting unnecessary injuries was pointless. Now the big guy decided he would kill that person right there. Seon wasn't someone who would silently watch someone being bullied in front of him. But the biggest shock came when a gunshot sound rang out from a drone, and the big guy fell. The drone announced, "Briefing is about to begin. Anyone harming another outside the designated schedule will be immediately executed." Seon thought these people killed without warning. Could anyone really survive here? Just then, a masked person appeared on screen and enthusiastically announced congratulations to those who passed the doping test. In the round that just finished, only survival was important. There was no elimination. But from now on, the loser of each round will be eliminated. And elimination means incapable of further combat. Then he said, "But you all came here for one reason, the grand prize of 10 billion won." All the players got excited. Seon also thought if he got this money, his family could finally live a human life. He decided he would do anything for it. But then it was said, unfortunately, this prize will only go to one person. But don't feel disappointed, because if you reach the top 16 and survive, you will receive 5% of the betting amount placed on you by the VIPs. Now all the players were even more excited. Some weaklings were saying they'd win the prize and loot the betting money too. Then it was announced that each player would have their own broadcast channel and a personal guide assigned who would also be their camera. VIPs would watch the channels where they thought the person could win and bet on them. The more attention from VIPs, the more money they could make. Now players would be given 5-person rooms where they would stay until the game ended. Roommates could be chosen freely. If there were any other questions, the guide would help. The clown guide told the crab guy that to attract VIP attention, they needed to be with strong people. They'd have to show some big moves. The crab guy said if he shared a room with a kid like that high schooler, he wouldn't make a single penny. Seon thought finding a room would be tough. Just then, the same guy who had saved him earlier said not to stress too much. He'd make sure nothing happened to him before the official matches. Seon didn't say anything, but he noticed that the guy's hand was still trembling from the big guy's grip. Just then, someone passed by him. Seon seemed to recognize him. Perhaps he was a famous person. The guy said it looked like there was a room over there where there was no competition. They should check it out. Seon was a little suspicious. This guy got injured because of him, and now he wanted to share a room with him, which everyone else was avoiding. But then he thought no matter which room he chose, danger was everywhere. So he decided to go with him. The clown guy looked at them both and said this looked like a complete disaster group. The crab guy predicted their viewership would be the lowest. The clown guy said that's why he was in the room next to them, the ones who seemed the most popular. Being in the same room could be dangerous, but staying next door would still get him screen time. The crab guy agreed. Yes, if muscleheads attract VIPs, being near them would be beneficial. In the opposite room, 3 large muscular guys were sitting. They looked quite intimidating. Just then, a blonde guy entered the room, closed the door, went up to them, and said, "This spot that you guys are occupying, I like it. Please shift a little." One big guy stepped forward and said, "The camera isn't even on, and you closed the door. Looks like you came here with a death wish." He attacked with his left arm, but the blonde guy used just 2 fingers and struck the weakest spot on the big guy's neck. The guy immediately fell. His neck twisted. The other 2 muscle guys were shocked. The blonde guy asked them if anyone else wanted to greet him. No answer came. Everyone was silent in fear. The blonde guy said good. Silence was better because the person he wanted to greet was someone else. We found out that he's 19, and his name is Hunmin Soo, and trust me, you'll want to remember that name. Meanwhile, Kim and Yanwoo are cruising in their car, casually discussing intel that the vice president is planning to team up with Chae Midshun, again last year's reigning champion. Yanwoo's visibly stressed, practically seething with frustration. His backup? Just some high school kid. Yeah, not exactly confidence-inspiring. Kim, calm as ever, adjusts his glasses and drops a bombshell. If Seon makes it to the top 16, he qualifies for the second round of doping. And here's where it gets interesting. This kid's body has potential unlike anything they've seen. Bones 10 times stronger than the average human. If the additional stimulants work, they might witness the birth of a monster that shatters every record on file. Yanwoo realizes they need to keep this kid locked down before other VIPs try to poach him. Kim reassures him for now. They're safe. Seon's roommates scored the lowest ratings in the doping tests. Not exactly elite company. Cut back to Seon, standing with the man who saved his life earlier. The guy's laying out the harsh reality. Winning over viewers won't be easy. The audience only bets on fighters they believe can actually win. And right now, nobody's betting on their room. Speaking of their room, let's meet the crew. There's Amanda Grush, 23, the only female fighter in the group, and her odds of winning are laughably low. Then there's Kim Ho, 25, the smallest competitor in the entire tournament. And finally, Minon, 28, an absolute moron who's literally licking his own elbow. Yeah, this is the dream team. Suddenly, the drone cameras activate and start filming. The guy who saves Seon realizes they need to attract VIP attention fast if they want to earn any money. Without warning, he flips onto his hands and starts cranking out one-armed push-ups, holding his entire body weight up like it's nothing. Seon's skeptical this circus act will boost viewership. Then he glances over at Amanda. She's planted her fingers into the concrete floor and is doing push-ups on one finger. Seon's genuinely shocked. She's lifting her entire body with a single finger like it's a casual Tuesday. Kim Ho scoffs that showing off raw strength is for idiots. In a blink, he moves towards Seon at blinding speed and starts running circles around him so fast he's just a blur. Seon's stunned by the sheer velocity. Then there's Minon, still licking his elbow like a complete idiot, mumbling that he's the strongest. Seon stands there watching these lunatics, feeling like an idiot himself just for observing this madness. Unexpectedly, an announcement echoes through the facility. The draw for the 124 participant tournament is complete. Seon checks his matchup. His opponent looks absolutely terrifying. Not great. Kim and Yanwoo learn the guy's name is Kai. Yanwoo asks if he's really that dangerous. Kim confirms Kai hasn't lost a single match since becoming a Lethwei fighter. Yanwoo's confused. What the hell is Lethwei? Kim explains it's a Burmese martial art similar to Muay Thai, but infinitely more brutal. Yanwoo points out Muay Thai already allows elbows and knees, some of the most devastating strikes in combat sports. Kim nods, then drops the kicker. Lethwei allows all that and more. They fight without gloves. Headbutts are completely legal. If you want to crack your skull against your opponent's face, go right ahead. But that's not even the most dangerous part. The real terror? Strikes to the back of the head and spine are allowed. These attacks can knock someone unconscious instantly, or kill them. That's why they're banned in almost every combat sport on the planet. Kim continues. Kai has the most real combat experience among all participants. Even after going pro, he was recruited by an underground organization and kept fighting for them. The ring wasn't enough for him. He started hunting down street fighters with bad reputations and beating them into oblivion. That's what caught the organization's attention. Yanwoo asks the obvious question, can Seon handle someone like that? Kim admits he's excited to find out. Until now, Seon's only fought a debt collector and Black Bear, neither of whom were trained martial artists. This will be different. The scene shifts to the fighting arena, a complex made up of 5 interconnected chambers. Seon wakes up in one of them, disoriented, wondering how long he was out. Then he notices something strange. His body feels lighter, not just tired muscles recovering lighter. He's felt this sensation before after the fight with Black Bear, like he'd become stronger overnight. The guy who saved him wakes up too, telling Seon not to be surprised. When muscles are pushed to their absolute limits without suffering permanent damage, they naturally rebuild stronger than before. Maybe Seon had never pushed himself that far until now. Seon admits he was fighting at maximum strength against Black Bear, though he has no idea how he managed it. The guy speculates Seon recovered unusually fast. Maybe they injected him with recovery stimulants while he was unconscious. Seon brushes it off. What he really wants to know is why this guy risked injury to save him yesterday. The man pauses, then admits Seon reminds him of his son. If he'd been a better father, his son wouldn't have fallen into massive debt with loan sharks. He's here to make things right, to pay off the debt. But when he saw Seon alone, he couldn't help remembering the son he neglected and abandoned to ruin. He couldn't just stand there and do nothing. Seon's response is blunt. Don't waste your time on me. Preserve your life and take care of your real son if you still have one. The man's shocked, then laughs it off, joking around to lighten the mood. Meanwhile, Minon's standing in front of the matchup screen, squealing like an idiot about why he's not fighting in the main arena. He looks directly at the camera and proudly announces he can lick his own elbow with his tongue. Truly, a warrior's greatest achievement. The guy tells Seon that matches with high viewership happen in the main arena. The rest take place in the doping test arena. But here's the thing, everyone except Minon is scheduled for the main arena. That means their opponents will literally be monsters. Seon's response? That's a good thing. The guy's dumbfounded. What are you talking about? Seon explains this is an opportunity to attract all the VIP's attention to their room at once. The guy thinks Seon's insane. Minon waddles over like an idiot, picks his teeth, and drops some actual wisdom for once. The main arena isn't just for attracting viewers. It's where the 16 VIPs themselves appear in person. People who literally run the world. Seon realizes this means the scout will be there, the one person who might have answers about his mother. Kim and Yeonwoo arrive at a desolate, hidden location. Hyunho was confused. He thought they were going to the main arena. What is this disgusting place? Kim explains the fighting ward's location is a closely guarded secret. They were brought here for a meeting in a hidden location. But there's a complication. Someone else has joined Seon's betting channel besides them. Yeonwoo's shocked and furious. Someone's spying on them right now? A girl's voice cuts through the tension, saying there seems to be a misunderstanding. Her name is Chae Sing-jeon, 19 years old, the youngest daughter of the Hosen group. She clarifies she's just interested in the student named Kang Seon. That's all. Yeonwoo glares at her with obvious recognition and anger. It hasn't been long since they kicked him out of the company, and now they're following him around like rats. Kim notes the young miss has become very interested in director Yeonwoo. Interesting development. Yeonwoo explodes, yelling about this so-called little sister, just an illegitimate daughter. Chae remains calm. She left school to help her two brothers in the company, but because of them, she found this place. So really, she should thank them. Yeonwoo gets more agitated, demanding she leave immediately, whatever her plan is. Suddenly, a vehicle arrives. Drones and uniformed personnel emerge, announcing they'll now be guided to the main arena of the fighting ward. They're taken away, blindfolded. A voice tells them they can remove the blindfolds now. She's now in one of 16 luxury VIP chambers. Finally, she's arrived at the grand exhibition arena. Hyunwoo sits in his chair with Kim standing beside him, both looking stunned. The place is bigger than they imagined. Kim mentions that as soon as this match finishes, Seon's up next. Suddenly, in the ongoing match, one fighter is absolutely destroying the other, slamming him into the wall and ending it in seconds. Yeonwoo's shocked. That guy's a monster. Kim confirms that's Han Min-soo, and he's the same age as Seon. Yeonwoo's stunned. There's another high school student? Kim clarifies he's not really a student, the kid doesn't care about studying. But here's the kicker, Han Min-soo is from the same school as Seon. What kind of school produces monsters like this? The drone announces Han Min-soo's victory. Now the match between room 10 and room 3 will begin. Seon and his roommates enter. The guy's shocked by how massive this arena is compared to the first round. The drone instructs player Kim Ho and room 10 members to wait here. Kim Ho enters while Han Min-soo exits. Unexpectedly, Seon feels something slam beside him with tremendous force, a brick launched at incredible speed. Kim Ho notices and confirms Seon definitely saw it. Turns out Han Min-soo flicked that brick at Seon as he walked past. So fast nobody else noticed. As Han Min-soo passes Kim Ho, he remarks that Seon seems pretty ignorant, doesn't he? Kim Ho disagrees, but Han Min-soo gives him a look so terrifying Kim Ho immediately backs away. Everyone's shaken. Amanda points out he didn't do that for no reason. He has a high degree of perception, especially toward opponents' intent, particularly killing intent. Kim stands there terrified, realizing he wasn't imagining it. Han Min-soo genuinely wanted to kill him. He could sense fresh, raw, killing intent radiating off him. He feels pathetic, wondering how he can get revenge when he's this weak. A massive figure appears behind Kim, his opponent, Bice, a wrestler, 31 years old. The VIP betting on him is President Wang Soon of the Songjun Hotel. His assistant notes they chose Bice because he's a wrestler, even though wrestling doesn't typically involve decisive strikes. His assistant explains it doesn't matter how skilled someone is at fighting. If a wrestler grabs you, you're done. That's why wrestlers make the best mixed martial artists. Wrestling provides the foundation for practicing various martial arts, and if you're lacking, it's impossible to win against an opponent using their entire body weight to pin you down, especially a wrestler. With this size difference, there's no chance. The drone announces the match will now begin. Bice underestimates Kim, calling him a beginner who's never fought without gloves. Your bad luck is facing me first. He moves to attack, but suddenly Kim strikes him in the face at blinding speed, gouging his eye. Bice screams in pain, shocked. Kim's voice is cold. Who said I'm a beginner? Bice tries to steady himself, focusing with his one good eye. But he can't see anything because Kim's moving at incredible speed, landing continuous strikes one after another. Bice tries to grab him, but Kim dodges effortlessly, striking until even Bice's good eye starts losing vision. Everyone watching thinks at this speed, Kim will finish it, but Amanda says no. Suddenly, Bice starts blocking attacks, acting like he's the aggressor, not the defender. Kim backs away, terrified. How? I'm the one attacking. Why am I seeing things like this? Bice himself doesn't understand what's happening either. His whole body becomes aware of everything around him. This is what he was waiting for. He closes his eyes. Kim's confused. I don't know what tricks you're pulling, but this match is already over. He moves in for the finishing blow, but Bice blocks it with his eyes closed. Everyone's stunned. Kim panics. If he grabs me like this, I'll die. I need to move left, quickly. But the instant he moves, Bice grabs him, lifts him up, and executes a brutal suplex, slamming him into the ground. President Wong is thrilled. How did he become stronger after getting injured? His assistant explains that losing his vision awakened his body's sensitivity. His other senses compensated. Bice thanks Kim for making him lose one eye. That's how he discovered his true power. Suddenly, Kim gets up and strikes Bice's other eye, blinding him completely. The president's shocked. What happens if he loses both eyes? How is Kim still standing after that suplex? The president's assistant clarifies Kim hasn't fully regained consciousness yet. He struck while unconscious. The president's even more shocked. You mean he attacked while unconscious? Amanda mutters Kim needs to wake up fast before Bice finds him, even without his eyes. Kim starts attacking at extremely high speed. The guy shouted, "Don't attack, you'll get killed," but he's stunned by Kim's speed and his ability to land powerful blows. How did he manage that? His attacks are actually succeeding. Kim starts circling his opponent. Bice is confused, unable to track him. The guy's puzzled. Why is he doing this? He doesn't have the stamina to maintain this speed. He's draining massive energy. He won't last. What's his plan? Kim continues his assault. The guy is shocked. Is this idiot going to attack again? Kim, indeed, launches rapid, powerful strikes. The guy notes his attacks are succeeding, so why is he using deceptive movements for no reason? Amanda explains that without those tricks, his attacks wouldn't succeed in the first place. She continues Kim thinks his opponent can't see anymore, so he stopped using deception techniques without realizing it. That's what will exhaust him. The guy asks if Kim's acting as if his opponent can see, despite that, and still deceiving? Amanda corrects him, no. It's much more complicated. What do you mean? Amanda explains Kim is deceiving Bice's senses. With sensory enhancement, it's not difficult to read simple attacks. But without prior training, facing Kim's level of misdirection will literally make Bice's brain unable to process anything. Kim's making him confused, unable to even block strikes. Kim also figured out his opponent predicted his movements earlier, which is why he changed tactics. Amanda concludes Kim is no ordinary person, much more than she expected. The business director betting on Bice is yelling at his assistant. Furious, they made him bet on someone who might lose to a small child. His assistant points out the positive side. Look at Bice's expression. Does he look like someone who'll lose? Suddenly, Bice grabs Kim. Finally caught you. He flips Kim over and slams his head into the ground with devastating force. But we're shocked to discover Bice isn't actually holding anyone. These are hallucinations caused by Kim's violent strikes to his head, making him lose all his senses.